The Champagne Reckoning. Chapter 1. The Toast That Shattered Everything. Love can blind you, but betrayal sharpens your vision with surgical precision. I remember holding a bouquet of white lilies in one hand, a velvet ring box tucked in the pocket of my coat. Inside it was the ring, the exact one she'd gushed about 2 years ago in a jewelry shop window. 5 years of marriage. Our anniversary. I had planned everything down to the minute. A private room in the restaurant where we had our first date, her favorite champagne chilling in a bucket of ice, and a live violinist waiting by the bar to play our song. It was going to be perfect. But fate had a different performance queued up. I arrived 20 minutes early to tip the staff and prep the table. But as I walked into the softly lit dining area, I stopped cold. There she was, Natalie. Not sitting at our reserved table. Not alone. And definitely not waiting for me. She was locked in a kiss that belonged in a bad romance film. Not a peck. Not a mistake. A full-bodied, open-mouthed embrace with another man. Her hands tangled in his hair like she was clinging to the edge of the world. Her eyes were closed, lost in him. She didn't see me approach. Neither did he. Not until my voice cut through the soft restaurant music like a gunshot. Hope the champagne tastes better with a concussion. Their heads turned too late. The bottle came down with a clean crack against his temple. Glass exploded. He collapsed like a sack of bricks. The music stopped. My wife, my cheating wife, screamed. Me. I didn't flinch. Because that blow. That wasn't just rage. It was a curtain call. The public collapse of the facade she'd built. And it was only the beginning. Chapter 2. The mask slips. Her name was Natalie Bennett. When we met, she radiated light. Big smiles. Magnetic eyes. The kind of woman who could quiet a room without raising her voice. She whispered loyalty, sold warmth, and wore devotion like a second skin. I bought every word. We built a life together. White porch swing, shared playlists, synchronized coffee mugs. A love story, or so I thought. But beneath the surface, hairline cracks began to form. Late-night texts she suddenly deleted. Apps with new passwords. Subtle shifts in perfume. Once, I smelled unfamiliar cologne on a jacket she swore she hadn't worn in weeks. Still I said nothing. Because men like me, builders, providers, protectors, we don't destroy until we're sure. 3 weeks before the restaurant ambush, I made a call. His name was Mason Clay, a former cyber analyst turned private investigator. A contact passed quietly from a friend of a friend. 4 days later, Mason dropped the truth like a guillotine. Photos, chat logs, hotel receipts, a video of Natalie brushing the cheek of a man. Asterisk that man asterisk. Outside the same restaurant we celebrated our 3rd anniversary. His name, Carson Voss. Mid-level financial advisor. Married. In debt. A walking HR liability with complaints stacked thicker than his resume. But I didn't confront her. Smiled. I played the doting husband. I even bought her flowers. Because revenge. Real revenge isn't rage. It's rhythm. Chapter 3. The Trap Behind the Smile. After the restaurant scene, when security dragged me aside and the police let me off with a warning, Carson refused to press charges. Too much to lose when you're cheating on your wife, I went home. Natalie didn't. She fled to her sisters, painting herself as the bruised victim of a jealous, unhinged husband. But let her spin her lies. I left apologetic voicemails. I'm sorry I lost control. Let's talk. No fighting. She bit. 2 days later she came home, playing the forgiving wife. I greeted her with tea, offered therapy, and even suggested a weekend getaway. All while Mason was helping me bleed her dry. Emptied our joint accounts. Froze the secret credit card she'd opened behind my back. Scrubbed her devices for data. Found more texts. Messages to Carson calling me pathetic, plotting how they'd drain me dry in the divorce. Asterisk, let him leave with his gym bag and his pride. We'll be rich on his dime. Asterisk. I printed that one out. Framed it. Left it on her pillow before leaving for work. Then I filed for divorce. On the grounds of adultery. In our state that matters. I also contacted Natalie's employer. Her contract had a strict moral clause. Not long after, she was terminated. And Carson. I made sure his wife received an anonymous delivery. Screenshots, hotel dates, GPS pings. Everything she'd need to detonate his life. 2 weeks later, Natalie was jobless. Carson's wife had filed for divorce. Their fantasy burned to ash. She came storming home screaming, "You've ruined everything." "No, Natalie. You did that. I just made sure the wreckage was visible." Chapter 4. The final blow. Natalie was unraveling. Unemployed. Isolated. Shunned by her inner circle of brunch friends who ghosted her the moment HR got involved. Her texts came like waves. "You made your point. Why are you doing this? You used to love me." But I never replied. Because I was no longer her audience. I was her consequence. Carson fell harder. His wife cleaned out their accounts, took the kids, filed a restraining order. The firm quietly terminated him. According to Mason, Carson now lived in a studio apartment under investigation for potential financial misconduct. Best part. He blamed her. "You said your husband was weak. You said he wouldn't fight back." Natalie begged him not to abandon her. "You're all I have left," she texted. He blocked her. But I wasn't done. One last move remained. A house. Thanks to the prenup, which she signed without reading in full, distracted by wedding cakes and color palettes, I had the legal leverage to claim full ownership. I'd already transferred the deed. Quietly. Weeks ago. She received the official notice on a Tuesday. "You have 10 days to vacate. No appeals. No calls. Just legal clarity." Left. But not before scratching liar into the glass of the front door. That's fine. Glass is replaceable. Her dignity isn't. Chapter 5. Closure. Revenge isn't loud. It's not a slammed door or a thrown plate. It's the calm. The silence that used to hurt, but now feels peaceful. 6 months later, life looked and felt different. The house was mine again. Every room stripped of her shadows. My mornings were quiet. No lies, no fake meetings, no stomach knots. I rebuilt. Renovated the guest room. Joined a gym. Reconnected with old friends I had pushed away to keep her comfortable. And one evening I went on a date. Usual. No fireworks, just shared laughter over drinks. It reminded me there's still life after betrayal. A month ago, Natalie messaged again. "I've been thinking about everything. I'm sorry. I made the biggest mistake of my life. Can we talk?" I didn't answer. Instead, I forwarded the screenshot to Mason with a note. "Frame it for the archive. Because closure doesn't mean talking. Means not needing to." Final words. Natalie cheated. She betrayed a man who built her a home, a future, a world. A man who forgave too much for too long. But in the end, she taught me something invaluable. Never beg someone to love you right. Let them show you who they are. And then decide who you'll become without them. **** Became unshakable. Not because of her. But because I survived her. Was this revenge savage? Calculated? Or simply deserved? ****. If you felt every crack of betrayal and every drop of justice, let us know in the comments. Like the video if you believe in quiet strength and smart revenge. Subscribe for more true pro-revenge stories that cut deep. And share this with someone who's ever trusted the wrong person. Because they deserve to know they're not alone. Welcome to Nathan's story. Where every betrayal ends with a lesson. And every liar pays the price.